Welcome back. All right, so some news of the day for all you fine people for your Wednesday, January the 25th. Tristan Jarry will not be returning for the Pittsburgh Penguins before the All-Star break. We saw them allow a bunch of goals last night with DeSmith in net. They have Tokarski, of course, as well as their number 3. They might have to score a bunch of goals to win some games if DeSmith continues to struggle, but we'll see. Tokarski was good in the appearances he made too, so at any rate, they'll be without Jarry for a little while longer. Hopefully he's back right after the break. The Vancouver Canucks have placed Lockwood on the injured reserve. They've recalled Phil DiGiuseppe, so we'll see how that affects things. Lockwood was playing well enough as a bottom 6 forward. The one thing with the Canucks bottom 6, there's almost no production from that bottom 6. That is something that has been a problem for years and continues to be an issue, so see how DiGiuseppe does in his call-up. If you're an Ottawa fan, good news tonight in that Greig's going to make his debut. Ottawa needs something. They need some kind of run to start to take place here. Statistically, from an analytic perspective, they're playing well, but they're not getting wins. So the analytics can go out the window when you're not getting the victories, and that's where Ottawa's been at. So maybe Greig can help, jumpstart some offense for them, and he can carve out a position for himself in the National Hockey League, and I wish him the best. The one item that caught my eye today, and I said, pardon? So Gary Bettman, so this is being reported by Sportsnet. He says, nobody tanks because we have a weighted lottery. You're not going to lose games to increase your odds by a couple of percentage points. That's silly. And frankly, suggesting tanking, I believe, is inconsistent with the professionalism that our players and our coaches have. Nobody tanks. Nobody said the players tank. I have said many times the players don't tank. I've also said coaches don't tank. When you put Luke Richardson behind the bench, he wants to win. But the players on the ice may not be of the caliber to win. So last night in Vancouver, of course, I saw reports after about, it's one of the fewest amount of scoring chances any team's allowed all season, but it is against Chicago, a team that, as I've been following this year, they've routinely had periods where they might have 1 shot, 2 shots, maybe 3. And so, really, for Chicago, this is a team that's not good enough. Anaheim is in the midst of a rebuild. Arizona, the rebuild continues. Chicago, rebuilding, tearing down. And Montreal has actually performed better than expected. These 4 teams absolutely want to improve their odds. We have seen, GMs and owners talking about Bedard. Maybe it is tempting. Bedard's pretty darn good. So the idea that teams don't tank, it's interesting how he moves the goalposts on this into say that players and coaches don't tank because nobody's insinuating that players do. The players go out on the ice and intentionally blow it because they want to make sure Bedard's their teammate next year and that he'll take a job away from one of their teammates. It's odd. The ones that are doing the tanking are the general managers. There are some really egregious ones. The Buffalo Sabres in 2015. If they started winning games, they'd get rid of whatever reason was they were winning games. There was the Pittsburgh Penguins the year that Mario Lemieux comes into the league. Very clearly in a tank-off with the New Jersey Devils that year. And they stripped themselves down to the bone just trying to get that worst spot in the league. And so the idea that teams don't tank, I find it to be incorrect. But it is interesting to say coaches and players because nobody's insinuating players don't play their hardest. Nobody's insinuating coaches aren't trying to win. But we do have stories from, for instance, going back to the Penguins in Mario Lemieux's draft year, where they won a game or won a couple here and there, and the coach would actually get berated for the team playing well, for the team having a lead, for the team getting a win. The coach would be told off for that. So the idea that there aren't teams that are trying to get a better chance of getting that number 1 draft pick, I think is patently false. And I think intentionally directed back towards, well, the players aren't tanking. Nobody said they were. But I'd be interested to know your thoughts in the comment section below and whether or not the NHL should do something about tanking. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.